feel the resonance all over the body. Salutations to Patanjali. Namaskara Mudra.
Yeah, go.
Yogena chittasya padena vacha malam sharirasya yopakarottam pravaram muninam Patanjalim pranjaliranatosmi avahu purushakaram Shankhachakrasidharinam Sahasrashirasam Shvetam Pranamami Patanjalim. Gently rub palms, let heat make up in palms. Cover your eyes with the cup, toss this warm to eyes, hold it through blinks, open eyes and see palms. Namaskaram all. Let us start with the theory of Ashtanga Yoga. That is, in that Ashtanga Yoga, we dealt with the yamas and niyamas. Now the pranayama, asana. In Bahiranga Yoga, the asana. I'm getting that echo from someone. Please mute.
Sir, your voice is also breaking. Actually, I mean.
Now is it fine, sir?
Let everybody switch off the video. I think the audio will be clear.
Now is it okay?
Except, sir. Now it's okay, sir.
I think the fan in the background also obstructs. Yeah. Now is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Ashtanga Yoga. In the last class, for a few sessions, we dealt with Yama Niyama practice of the Ashtanga Yoga. Now the asana, the third limb of Ashtanga Yoga. Asana means a posture, literally. Yogasanas, where the union happens. Definition of asana by Patanjali: Sthiram, Sukham, Asanam. The purpose of asanas or yogasanas is to use the body to gain health and the mastery over the mind. With the yamas and niyamas, which are the moral code of conduct. See, yama means it is the end of activity. Yama is an end of activity. That is a stressful activity. Too much activity is stressful. So in yama, we are giving an end to the stressful activity, the chitta vrittis, by ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, aparigraha. We are putting end to stressful activity. With niyama, we are beginning a blissful activity, self-disciplines, shaucha, santosha, tapas, swadhyaya, and Ishvara Pranidhana. So the activities to reduce the chanchalata of the mind. So these are, one is moral code of conduct. These two are moral codes of conduct. One is public discipline, another one is self-discipline. Whereas in asanas, here it is disciplining of the body to gain mastery over the mind. Purpose of asanas or yogasanas is to use the body to gain health and also the mastery over the mind. Let us understand the background or basic understanding about asanas, which we have already discussed before starting the practice of asanas. So asana literally means a posture. In yogasanas, so all these postures are derived from the animal or plant instincts and imitation of the good things from each asana. How many such asanas are there? As defined by Lord Shiva in Samhita when teaching Shiva Hatha Yoga to Devi Parvati, Shiva explains that Yavani Jiva Jantani. So there are so many asanas that those many species on this earth, species anakinta animals. There are 84 lakh animals on this earth. 84 laksha Jiva Rashigalu. Ashtu asanagaliದೆ. Ashtu asanagalu namage bekagilla. Adaralli Martya Lokakke. Martya Loka andre, this is Manushya Loka. If you want to gain mastery and to reach a perfect state, to get siddhis, to reach samadhi, or to reach the higher states, you don't need to practice so many asanas. So there he mentions 84 asanas are enough to reach your goal. In those 84 asanas, in Gheranda Samhita, Gheranda Acharya reduces to some advanced asana practices that 32 asanas are very much essentials. If you practice those 32 asanas, you can reach the perfect state. So need not to learn all the asanas, 84 lakh asanas, 84 lakh species also. So each in that context, if you see, so the rishis have observed every animal carefully and derived some of the good things from these animals. Imitation of good things from these animals. If you want to imitate the good things, first assume their posture and then imitate all those good qualities of those particular, that particular animal or a species. For example, Rukshasana. So Rukshasana, so what are the good qualities of a Ruksha? It gives shelter to others. See the shloka there. Chayam anyasya kurvanti swayam tishtati atape phalanyapi pararthaya rukshaha satpurusha ivaha. Chayam anyasya kurvanti. It stands on the sunlight and gives the shade to others. Swayam tishtati atape. Tanu bisilalli nintu innobbarige neralanna koduvantaddu. And all that it produces, phala, anya, api, all that good things that it produces, phalanyapi, all types of fruits, the fruits that it produces, the leaves, these saude, kannadadalli ಏನು ಕರಿತೀವಿ, saude, wood, firewood, ella, whatever that we get through trees, it is not for its own sake, it is for others' security and benefit. Pararthaya, phalanyapi pararthaya, rukshaha satpurusha ivaha. This is a good quality of a ruksha. So, if you want to gain such qualities, imitate good things of a ruksha, first imitate its posture, assume the nearest posture, and imbibe all those good qualities. That is the purpose of practicing any yogasana. So that means you adopt a Rukshasana, assume it, and stay there still, sthiram, and reach the state of Sukham. In that state of Sukham, meditate on all the qualities of Ruksha and get all the powers and good qualities good things of Riksha, good properties of the Riksha. Not simply assuming Riksha and coming back. So stay there, apply all the principles of asanas, Sthira Sukham Asana. So there's a Rikshasana, one example. And another example, you can see in the name of a species, any animal, crocodile, Makarasana. So what are the good qualities of Makara? Relax to the core, completely relax, very slowly, with full focus and awareness, not holding any part of the body tight, and focused on all your activities. Unnecessarily stopping the unnecessary effort, which is resulting in energy wastage kadegirtakkanta activities nella stop ಮಾಡಿ, conserve your energy, be relaxed, calm. Next, Patanjali's 3 sutras on asanas. You can write down these 3 sutras in the Ashtanga Yoga. So, definition of asana in 2 sutras, and the 3rd sutra is explaining the benefit of practicing asana. Sthira Sukham Asanam Prayatna Shaithilyam Ananta Samapatibhyam. These 2 sutras are explaining and defining the asana. The 3rd sutra, Tato Dvandva Anavighataha. Tataha Dvandvan Anavighataha is the sutra. You can write down these 3 sutras. By Patanjali. So first sutra, Sthira Sukham Asanam. Sthiram Sukham Asanam. In between that, you get a Chiram also. Before you attain Sukham, you should maintain that asana for Chirakala, for some long time, for a certain duration of time. So you can reach the final posture, Sukham. In the first sutra, it is explaining the stages of asanas. Stages of asana. 3 stages of asana. Write down 3 stages of asana. Sthiram, Chiram, Sukham. Sthiram, stable or steady. Chiram, long time. Sukham, easy or comfortable. In the beginning, suppose when we practiced Ardhakati Chakrasana or Rukshasana, you might have experienced. I remember we have discussed this even while practicing beginning the asanas. You should apply these principles. Suppose I am doing Ardhakati Chakrasana in the final posture, or in the beginning, I am not able to hold the posture with ease in the final posture. There is shaky condition. I am not able to maintain the sthirata. So my hand shakes after a while. So stay there until it becomes stable. Chiram, once it becomes stable, stay there for Chiram, long time. So once you cross, stay there in the final posture for a long time, reach a state of comfort, that is Sukham. So to reach that state of Sukham, you should hold asana for a certain time. So holding the asana for a long time, of course, minimum 3 to 30 minutes, or you can increase any asana more than that duration also, to get asana siddhi, perfection. Once you reach a perfect state of the asana, so always you have that siddhi, perfection in each asana. So Bhagavad Krupa beko, Guru Krupa beko, annondu asanadallu siddhi barlikke. Okay. So next sutra, Prayatna Shaithilyam Ananta Samapatibhyam. Second sutra of Patanjali on asana, it gives three cardinal principles of asana. First sutra, three stages of asana. Second sutra, three cardinal principles you can adopt in the practice of asana. One is relax the body, prayatna shaithilya. Prayatna shaithilya in the physical body, prayatna shaithilya in the breath, prayatna calming down the mind. Prayatna is effort, shaithilya is shithila, reducing the effort, effortlessness. So effortlessness in the body, effortlessness in the mind, effortlessness in the breath. So that can be done by calming down the mind, slowing down the breath, and relaxing the body. So these are the three cardinal principles of asanas. So Patanjali explains these cardinal principles. This Prayatna Shaithalyam Ananta Samapatibhyam. Once the effort is reduced, your mind again may start wandering. In the beginning, when you are holding the posture, there may be a lot of effort. By nature, body has its own defensive mechanism. It tries to defend. It is not usual. So any unusual movement, unusual activity in the body, it tries to defend and resist. That resistance is the effort. If you want to stay in Ardha Kati Chakrasana for a longer period of time, at once if you try to bend too much, your body tries to resist with a lot of effort from inside force. Prayatna is more. So when that resistance is more, your breath rate also very high in that stage. Or when your mind is not calm, your breath rate increases, body resists too much. While practicing asanas, if your mind is diverted, distracted, or running at high speeds, number of thoughts running at that moment, there is no synchronization in body and mind and the breath. So this sutra gives us the directions to calm down, need to calm down the mind, slow down the breath, and relax the body. That means synchronizing body, breath, and mind in the asana and reducing the effort in all these three layers. Physical body, Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, and Manomaya Kosha. So all the disturbances you are reducing in the body. Once the physical body disturbances, breath disturbances are reduced, mind is calm, comfort starts, your mind may start wandering again to other directions, to other objects, and then don't allow your mind to wander. Instead, you merge it with any infinite object. Infinite object is any Ishtadevata symbol, Omkara, ocean, or sky. These are some infinite entities. Suppose in Shavasana, after any asana practice or difficult or some heavy exercises, once you go to Shavasana, your mind becomes calm, your body is relaxing, slowing down, slowing down, slowing down until you completely relax. Once you relax, then you cannot continue in the asana anymore with the still mind. Mind may start wandering to all other directions. So here Patanjali is giving a suggestion or prescription not to allow the mind to wander, instead merge it. Ananta Samapatti. Samapatti is merger, merging with the Ananta, any infinite object. If you merge with any infinite object, so your consciousness is expansive. Mind goes to that blissful state of silence. So once the mind reaches this Ananta Samapatti, then Prayatna Shaithilyam Ananta Samapatti, all the efforts are reduced, merge with the beautiful blue sky. When you are merging with the infinite sky, what is happening? Sukha Prapti, the blissful state of silence, Sukha Prapti and Dukkha Nivritti. When one merges with the blue sky or any infinite object, it transcends all the body consciousness. So only Sukha establishes, Dukkha vanishes. And when we are practicing asanas, most of the times only Dukkha Prapti and Sukha Nivritti. I'm not saying it as a compulsory thing that everybody does it, but keep your body relaxed in the final posture, not to make it tight, stiff. We have our own sympathetic nervous system in the body, sympathetic activity, which resists any unusual activity in the body, defense, to safeguard the body. When your mind is calm, it can relax all the muscles, give sukha to all the parts, mind goes to silence, calm. Then Ananta Samapatti happens. The next sutra, after Ananta Samapatti, benefit of that is Tataha Dvandva Abhigataha. Continue that Ananta Samapatti with Abhyasa and Vairagya, practice and let go attitude. Then Tataha, you overcome all the dualities, Dvandva. So what are Dvandvas? Dvandvas are pair of opposites. Pair of opposites are your Chitta Vrittis. So Chitta Vrittis are most of the times in dualities, Klishtaha, Aklishtaha. So in the first chapter when I introduced you to Patanjali Yoga Sutras, Chitta Vrittis, the concept of Chitta Vrittis, when we discussed, there is a sutra called Rittayaha, Panchatayaha, Klishta, Aklishtaha. All the Chitta Vrittis are of 5 types, so which may be giving Sukha and Dukkha, or Shubha and Ashubha. So all pair of opposites. So these pair of opposites are responsible for the multiple Chitta Vrittis. So in the final posture of asanas, you overcome all the dualities. That means Chitta Vritti Nirodha Sthiti, Samasthiti, balanced state of the mind. So in that state, you are not at all attached or experiencing any heat and cold, happy or unhappy, profit or loss, Siddhi, Asiddhi, Shubha, Ashubha, Sukha, Dukkha, Punya, Apunya. So no such dualities in the final state. So that state is called Dvandva Nabhighataha, free from all dualities. These 3 asanas, these 3 sutras are mentioned about asanas in Patanjali Yoga Sutra. See, when dualities of the mind vanish, that means Chitta Vrittis are controlled. Chitta Vritti Nirodha happened. So when once Chitta Vritti Nirodha happens, we discussed in the first chapter that the result of Chitta Vritti Nirodha is Tadaha Drashtu Swarupe Avasthanam. The seer, that is you who is practicing, establish in your own reality, free from all the Chitta Vrittis. Swarupa, Tadaha Drashtu. Drashtu is you establishing in Avasthanam, Sthanam, your real Avastha. That real Avastha, Swarupa is, that is happy, healthy, selflessness, blissful, with all the infinite consciousness, with highest degree of freedom. So many qualities when you are established in your own self. But when you are attached with the Chitta Vrittis, your freedom is restricted. So asana is helping you to get rid of the dualities and reach your own Swarupa. Tadaha Drashtu Swarupe Avasthan Samadhi Sthiti. This is what is the essence of asanas mentioned in Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Hence, asanas use the body to gain health and mastery of the mind. A key is stretch and relax all group of muscles. So there are two schools of practicing asanas. In the last class, when we introduced you to practice of asanas, we discussed this. Two schools of practicing asanas are dynamic asanas, relaxing asanas. Dynamic asanas are called Hatha school of asanas, where you practice asanas with much speed, jerk, and repetition. So the purpose of practicing these Hatha asanas is to eliminate the tamas, lethargy, and that tamas is lethargic state, dormant state, drowsy state, and initiate you into active state. That is the purpose of Hatha asanas. Whereas applying the principles of Patanjali Yoga Sutras, where you stretch and relax every group of asanas slowly and maintaining the posture in the final state. So the features of Patanjali school of asanas are stretching and relaxing, slowness and maintenance in the final posture. So when you do speed and jerky practices with repetitions, your guna changes from tamas to rajas. You change your guna from tamasic sthiti, drowsy, lazy, lethargic state, to highly aggressive state with all these repetitive Surya Namaskaras that we do, loosening exercises that we do, some of the dynamic asanas that we do will just make us feel fresh from the drowsy state. But by coming to active phase, from hyperactivity, you should again go to a balanced state by applying the principles of asanas mentioned in Patanjali school, by relaxation in the final posture. This is the two schools of asana practice. So Yogasana's classification into standing type, sitting type, prone type, and supine type, and based on the effect they have on our body, relaxation effect, meditative effect, and culturative effect, they are categorized into three categories: relaxative category, meditative category, and culturative category. So again, based on their position, posture, the center of gravity acting on the body in the position, they are standing, sitting, prone, and supine. Four types of asanas, three categories of asanas. Some of the asanas that we have practiced: Ardhakati Chakrasana, Ardha Chakrasana, Padasthasana, Trikona, Uttita Trikona, Parivrita, Parshvakona, and Virabhadrasana. Some of the examples. In sitting that we are going to practice in YIC, Vajrasana and its variations, Supta Vajrasana, Supta Virasana, Virasana, and all those. In the twisting category, we do Ardha Matsyendrasana, Vakrasana, and all those. In front bending, Paschimottanasana, Shashankasana. In backward bending, Ushtrasana. Lateral stretches in sitting, we do Janu Shirshasana, Parivrita Janu Shirshasana. Further stretching asanas for Akarna Dhanurasana, Gomukhasana, any asanas we do in sitting. All the examples. So prone position, we do Bhujangasana, Shalabhasana, and Dhanurasana, three asanas in prone. Supine postures, many asanas we do in supine: Sarvangasana, Viparit Karani, Matsyasana, Halasana, Chakrasana, Setu Bandhasana, Pavanamuktasana, and Jatara Parivartanasana variations, Markatasana variations. But that all those we have learned in loosening and preparatory practices. But in the final posture, a little bit advanced in supine, that we do Sarvangasana, Viparit Karani, Matsyasana, Halasana, Chakrasana. And some balancing asanas also we do. like Shirshasana, Ardha Chakra, Ardha Shirshasana, Mayurasana, Hamsasana, and all those we learn in this course. So differences between exercises that we do in yoga practice and yogasanas at a glance. So normal exercises are energy consuming, energy expending practices, which includes jerks, speed and repetition. So which have their effect on muscular system, cardiovascular system and respiratory systems. Whereas Shithali, and even in that exercises, another classification. So there are isometric exercises and isotonic exercises. Metric means the length measure. In this isometric, where muscle length remains same, only muscle tone differs. Muscular contraction in which tension increases while the length of the muscle remains constant. Whereas in isotonic exercises involving muscular contraction, in which tension is constant while the length of the muscle differs. So that is isotonic. Tone remains the same. Iso means the same. Tone means partial contraction of the muscle. So isotonic exercises where muscle length increases, tone remains same. Tone, partial contraction of the muscles. Now, coming to Shithalikarana Vyayama that we do Hatha school of asana practices here, repetitions which are repetitive, energy spending, which have their effect on muscular system, respiratory system, cardiovascular, gastrointestinal, endocrinal, and nervous system of our physical body. So, yogasanas are yoga loosening practices, Shithalikarana Vyayama are much effective compared to the general normal exercises, which have their effect on many systems compared to exercises which have their effect on cardiovascular and respiratory muscular system. Here, the yoga exercises, Shithalikarana Vyayama, have their effect on nervous system and endocrine system also majorly. And then yogasanas, how different they are compared to Shithalikarana Vyayama. In yogasanas, principle is slow and maintenance. When you maintain the final posture, so they have their effect on muscular system, respiratory system, gastrointestinal, endocrinal, and nervous system and brain in the physical body. Whereas in the Manomaya Kosha, mental body, asanas have their effect on the mind, calmness, tataha, reducing the randomness of the mind. Both schools have the same objectives: developing physical personality, mastery over the mind, move towards selflessness, promotion of positive health and bliss. Whereas in the Hatha school of asana practice, where speed, repetition, and jerks are involved, there may be some risk involved on the physical personality. Sorry for that interruption. Yeah, ideal healthy body, which has a tranquility of the mind and clarity of thought, balanced and harmonious growth, highly flexible and elastic musculature, good strength and agility. It is the purpose of the practicing asanas to build physical personality. Yogasanas and their mechanisms. In yogasanas, all organs and systems in the body will work in harmony to provide deep rest to every part of the body. In the background of deep relaxation, the nervous system and the body gets normalized. In the process, body becomes soft like a flower when not required. In the resting position, required, it can become hard like a diamond when in need. Vajradapi katorani mriduni kusumadapi. To sum up, definition of asana by Patanjali is sthira sukham asanam. The purpose of asanas or yogasanas is to use the body to gain health and the mastery over the mind. Characteristics of asana: to be practiced slowly, and the positions, final positions, are to be maintained for longer duration, for about 3 to 30 minutes in each asana to gain perfection in each asana. If you are running at high speeds, we may not reach the perfection in any state. So practice each asana with a deep relaxation. Asana is a posture. We have to stay in the posture with ease and comfort, with less speed, reduced by reducing the excessive speed of the mind and slowing down the breath. It leads to stress relief. This is all about the explanation about asanas. Now, if you have any questions on this, are welcome. You can put these questions on the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and ask questions.
ಈ ಹಠಯೋಗ ಪ್ರದೀಪಿಕಾ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ತಿರೋ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಆಸನಗಳು ಹಠಯೋಗ ಪ್ರದೀಪಿಕಾ ಇಂದ ಬಂದಿರೋದಲ್ವಾ? ಅಂದ್ರೆ
ಹಠಯೋಗ ಪ್ರದೀಪಿಕಾ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಹಠಯೋಗ ಪ್ರದೀಪಿಕಾ is one of the ಹಠಯೋಗ text.
ಓಕೆ, ಈಗೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ತಿರೋದೆಲ್ಲ ಹಠಯೋಗ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿರೋ ಪ್ರಕಾರ, ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಹಠಯೋಗ ಮಾಡೋದು ಲೆಥಾರ್ಜಿ ಅಥವಾ ನಮ್ಮ ಲೇಸಿನೆಸ್ ನ ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ರಿಪಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಹದಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತ ತಮಸ್ ನೇಚರ್ ನ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪತಂಜಲಿ ಯೋಗ ಸೂತ್ರದ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಆಸನ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಥಿರ, ಚಿರ ಮತ್ತೆ ಸುಖ. ಸೊ ಈ ಹಠಯೋಗ ಮತ್ತೆ ಪತಂಜಲಿ ಯೋಗ ಎರಡು ಬೇರೆ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ? ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಈಗ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಆಸನ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ 3 ರಿಂದ 30 ನಿಮಿಷ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಸನದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ಸೊ ಬಟ್ ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ತಿರೋ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಪೋಸ್ಚರ್ ಆಸನಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಹಠಯೋಗ ಇಂದ ಬರ್ತದೆ ತಾನೆ?
Yes, very good question, Bharat. Yes, all asanas are, as I already discussed told in the previous classes, that Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Bhagavad Gita, Yoga Vashishta, and all other Upanishads which talk about the science of practicing asanas or anything in yogic science, whereas Hatha school is practical explanation, the elaboration of this science, technology, tantra, right? In this tantra, Hatha school, the principle is, in the beginning, to eliminate the lethargy and come to the energetic phase. So here the goal of our sadhana, in our sadhana path, we have to apply Patanjali principles to every asana, principles given by Patanjali to every other hatha asana. For example, you do Bhujangasana, you do Virabhadrasana, you do what is called Parshvakonasana, we did Trikonasana. All those hatha school of asanas are we have done. So where you are applying the principles of Patanjali, for relaxation, energization, to attain the state of Dvandvanavighatah sthiti. Dhyana sthiti. Dvandvanavighatah sthiti is dhyana sthiti. In each asana, you can go to that state to extract the perfection, to meditative state. I think Bharat got it.
ಅದೇ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು.
Same ಆಸನಗಳ ಹೆಸರುಗಳಿಗೆ you are applying the principle. In Bhagavad Gita and Yoga Sutras, elaborative ಆಗಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಆಸನವನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಈಗ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಸಿಟಿ ನೀವು ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ you learn only electricity, but when you apply it into practicality, you can use electricity, you can apply electricity to any electronic gadget. Principles of electricity, I mean to say.
ಸರಿ ಸರಿ.
Alva, this is technology. So Tantra is a technology. Hatha, school of practices, all are the elaborative technical applications of the science.
Okay.
Sir, the Surya Namaskar is basically a combination of asanas and pranayama.
Yes, Surya Namaskara is entirely a different concept which involves the combination of asana and pranayama. It is the worshipping. Surya Namaskara. There itself you have the name Namaskara. In that Namaskara that you are doing is Sastanga Namaskara. So only that is the Namaskara, and rest first 3-4 asanas that we do are a preparation to that Sastanga Namaskara. One backward bending, one front bending, and taking leg back, both legs back, Shashankasana. All those we do is as a preparation to go to the Sastanga Namaskara. The actual Namaskara that we are doing in Surya Namaskara are Sastanga Namaskara, which is the Shreshtatama Namaskara. And coming back from there with Bhujanga and Parvata, where you are culturing your spine to awaken the inner energy, that is Kundalini Shakti.
Okay.
From the Mooladhara. That is the purpose of doing asanas in Surya Namaskara.
Okay, sir. Got it.
So if no questions, we can start the pranayama. So can we proceed to pranayama? Next limb of Ashtanga
Yes.
Yoga. Yes, Soumya madam.
Yes, sir, we can proceed, I said.
Fine. Okay. Let me open the slides of pranayama. So before we start the pranayama, I just want to know from your end, what do you mean by pranayama? And what we know about prana and ayama. So let it be an interactive session. If there is no background disturbance, you can unmute and speak also.
Pranayama is, as I understood, it's where we cleanses our name ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಬಾಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಇನ್ಹೇಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಶುದ್ಧವಾದ ಏರನ್ನ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದು, ದ ಬ್ಯಾಡ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಲಿವ್ ಔಟ್, ಅಂಡ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಿರೇಟರಿ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಣಾಯಾಮ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಇಂದ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸೇ ಇಟ್ ನರಿಷಸ್ ದ, ಐ ಆಮ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಲಿ ಟು ಸೇ, ಒಂದು ಇನ್ಹೇಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಏನಿರತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು ವಾಟ್ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸೇ ವಿಂಡ್ ಪೈಪ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಆಯಾಮ ಅದು. I don't know properly the word. That's what I can tell.
Okay. Nagesh sir, I think sir has a huge knowledge about the energies. Yes, Nagesh sir.
ಬ್ರೀತಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಪ್ರಾಣವನ್ನ ಒಳಗಡೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬಿಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಅನುಕೂಲ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆ
ಪ್ರಾಣಾಯಾಮ. ಪ್ರಾಣವನ್ನ ಒಳಗೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಬೇಡದೆ ಇರೋದನ್ನ ಹೊರಗೆ ಕಳಿಸುವಂತಹ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಣಾಯಾಮ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. So what is prana then? What is prana then? Prana ಏನು?
Breathing is ಬೇರೆ, life force energy is ಬೇರೆ.
Prana is breath.
Prana is breath. Okay. And then
Actually it is a asana wherein which you synchronize the breath with the movements.
Okay.
According to me, prana is not a breath. Along with the breath, we are taking the prana inside the body. That is the life energy.
Bharat, you have any idea? Bharat and Kiranji.
ನಾನು ಪ್ರಾಣನ ನಾವು ಆಡೋ ಉಸಿರಾಟ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೆ. ಈ ಉಸಿರಾಟದಿಂದ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಹದಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತ ಚಕ್ರಗಳು ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಹ ಒಂದು ಸಮಸ್ಥಿತಿಗೆ ಬರುವಂತ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆನೇ ಪ್ರಾಣಾಯಾಮ ಅಂತ.
ಚಕ್ರಗಳು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ?
ಚಕ್ರಗಳು ಅಂತಾರೆ ನಮ್ಮ
bundles of nerves which are present at specific parts of the body.
Oh, bundles of nerves. Okay. So let us see all this. What is all our statements are right, or we can refine the statements like that. So in this Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga, the purpose of pranayama is to gain mastery over mind by gaining mastery over the breath. So pranasya ayamaha pranayama, pranasya ayamaha pranayama. So what is prana? What is ayama? So prana, let us understand, and ayama will understand separately. Put together, it is mastery over prana. That is lengthening of the prana. Ayama is lengthening. It is like exercising to your breath, prana. So breath is different and prana is different. So lengthening your life force, making it longer, is ayama, pranayama. So then what is prana? Prashnopanishad gives us the elaborative explanation or understanding about prana. So according to Prashnopanishad, the mantra called, so mantra says like this: Pranasyedam vashe sarvam trideve yat pratishtitam mateva putran rakshasva Shrishcha prajñamscha videhina iti. Pranasya idam vashe sarvam tridive yat pratishtitam. So prana is the basic fabric of this entire creation. Entire creation. In the creation, three lokas, tridiveyat pratishtita means whatever that exists in whichever the form in the three lokas. Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, Suvarloka. So whatever we say, Bhu, Bhur, Bhuva, Suvaha. So all that exists in three lokas is under the influence of prana. So every object that you take, so every object contains energy, either in potential form. When it is manifested, it is converted into kinetic form, right? Every object has a energy. I think I request, if possible, you put on video so that it will be an interactive session now. So this is more of a subtle in nature to understand. So this is an object. When I'm holding it here, do you think that this has an energy? This has a potential energy.
Yes.
When I leave it,
Kinetic.
it gets converted into
Kinetic
energy. And not only that, it is made of so many atoms, molecules, and then it is a final product, object, right? Every object is made up of different atoms combined, put together. Each atom has an electron, proton, neutron. Each atom has its own energy bottled up, right? There is so much of energy bottled up in every object, so which you cannot see directly. That is called prana. So without the energy, this object is nothing. So for outside, you may not see the energy, but energy is there in this object in the subtle form. So basic fabric of this entire creation is that prana. So everything that exists in the trilokas, pranasya idam vashe sarvam, tridiveyat pratishtitam. O prana, you are omnipresent in everything that exists in three lokas. O prana, protect us. Mata eva putran rakshasva. As a mother protects her child, protect us by giving all kinds of wealth and wisdom, both spiritual, materialistic, wealth and wisdom. Shrishcha prajnamscha videhinaiti. Sri is wealth, prajna is wisdom. Shrishcha prajnam. So that is the meaning of this mantra from Prashnoparishad, pranayama mantra. So that says prana is the vital life energy. Prana is the vital life force in all the animals, and it is there in every object also. But in living beings, it is the life force. Prana is the basic fabric of this entire creation. In physics, we all have studied in our high schools the basic law of conservation of energy. So what is the law of conservation of energy? Energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, but it can be manifested from one form to another form, right? Every object has its own energy. Maybe the intensity, density may be different, but when it is manifested, you can see the kinetic energy. When it is unmanifested, it is in the potential form. So, but energy is that which is the basic fabric which is binding, which is keeping this whole universe in this form. This energy which is responsible for all the transactions, this energy which is responsible for all the movements, that is the prana. Prana is everywhere. Prana is there in the Brahmanda. Prana is there in the Pindanda. So the same prana, it is not different. The prana which is there outside the body, which is in the Brahmanda. Prana which is there inside the body, it is Pindanda. So this body, when it comes inside, it is the prana of this body. When it leaves this body, it merges with the prana of the Brahmanda. Okay, so prana is the basic fabric of this entire creation. So let us move from there. So this is clearly explained. You can understand the concept of prana from Prashnopanishad. Write down. So prana, concept of prana and pranayama mantra is from Prashnopanishad. So in the Prashnopanishad, the name of the Upanishad itself is Prashnopanishad, where it is a interaction between the gurus and Shishya. Guru is Piplada here and his 6 disciples, Shishyas. They ask different questions to the Guru, Piplada, and Piplada answers all their questions neatly, and as a result of that, so we are studying this concept of prana. So I'm finding that slide. Let me open that slide so where we can understand the concept of prana. Who left? Okay. So now in Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga, pranayama is the 4th limb of Bahiranga Yoga in Ashtanga Yoga. So gaining mastery over the prana. So mind and prana are like 2 wings of a bird or 2 faces of the same coin. If you want to control the mind, control the prana. If you want to control the prana, you have to control the mind. So vice versa. So both are vice versa, like 2 faces of the same coin. In Hatha Yoga Pradipika, there is a shloka which says, Chale vate chalam chittam nischale nischalam bhavet. So chale vate chalam chittam. Vata is the wind, that is prana. Chittam is the mind stuff, mastery over the mind. If you stop the breath, vayu, so mind can be mastered. Mind also can be stopped. So mind and breath are like 2 faces of a coin. Mind and prana are like 2 faces of a coin. So pranayama is that gaining mastery over prana is pranayama. So to gain mastery over prana, you have to control breath. So you have to control breath to control prana to control the mind. So all are interlinked one by one. So now what is prana? So we discussed from where does it come. So we understand with the help of a Prashnopanishad. So questions from the students. 6 students and answers by the Guru Pippalada here. So 4 questions are, we are going to discuss 4 questions here. The 4 questions asked by students. Kuta eshaha prana jayate? Kuta eshaha prana jayate? From where does this prana come? So how did it took birth? How did it, so from where it started? Where is the janma, jayate, for this prana? And then second question, katham ayati asmin sharire? How does this prana enter the body? Asmin, my body. How does it enter my, how did it enter my body? Or how does it enter my body? ayati asmin sharire. Katham bahyam adhikramate. How does it move around? Katham adhyapyam. Here it is mentioned as adhyatmam. Adhyapyam iti. How to know about it? So these 4 questions are useful for us to understand the concept of prana. So answer here is Atmana Yeshaha Pranaha. So from where does this prana come? Prana is there with the Atma, whether it is Paramatma or Jivatma. So prana is there always with that conscious entity, Purusha, individual, Atma as a shadow. Wherever that consciousness is there, Atma, prana follows as a shadow. So here prana is the life force. So when it is with the Jivatma, Atma is here, we are talking about the Jivatma. So when it is there along with the Jivatma, it is the life force, Jiva. It has a life. And then see the energy, where is the prana? So it is there in the unmanifested form. So something is there in the background, it is not me, which is manifested into different forms. See, water, can you find electricity in water? You cannot. When it is manifested into different, when water is made to fall on a turbine, it is getting converted into kinetic electrical energy that is transmitted to every house. And in every house, there are so many household gadgets, electronic gadgets are being used with the help of that prana. Prana is there everywhere along with the Atma. So next question. Katham ayati asmin sharire. How does it enter the body? Atma enters the body and prana follows, then the activity starts. So if it has to enter the body, Atma enters the first, then the prana follows along with the Atma as a shadow, then the activity of the physical body starts. Otherwise, it is inactive. Prana may be there in the inactive form, energy form. So when it is giving life, that is prana. Atma enters the body, prana follows. So otherwise, when prana, when Atma is not there in the body, you cannot call it as a live body. Though there is a inactive form, no activity of the prana. Here, the active form of prana, so active form of energy is called life force, so prana. See, when Atma enters, prana also enters the body, activity starts in the mother's womb. So, bodyally, maguge yavaga activity start agate tannade swanta activity. Heartbeat separate agate tannade heartbeat. First heartbeat start agate. Sense organs build agate. Second, third month onwards, you will find these individual activities of the individual separate body are starting. Till then, there is no Atma. As the Atma enters the body, the activity starts in the mother's womb, and which is responsible for the growth, development, reproduction, everything. When Atma leaves the body, prana also leaves the physical body, activity stops. Activity stops. So in between the birth and death, so Atma is residing in the body. As long as Atma resides, that is responsible for all the activity, pranic activity. Prana is responsible for all the activity. Once Atma leaves, Prana leaves, activity stops in the body. So Jivatma. So Jiva. When Atma enters the body, Prana follows, then activity starts. When Atma leaves, activity also leaves. So Hari Sarvottama, Vayu Jiva Uttama. So Hari is that Ishvara, who is the Uttama of all, who is omnipresent, omniscient, everything, where Vayu is that life force, the Jivatma, the best in the Jivatma. So when that Atma is in your body, Prana is there in your body, which is responsible for all the activities, whether it is a Sukha or a Dukkha, all types of activities. So Atma, the highest principle, superior principle, which has the highest prana, highest wisdom, highest bliss, when it is there in your body, the body itself is a temple. Respect the body by keeping it healthy and happy. Don't pollute your body. Don't add anything, everything that you get into your body. Maintain it pure, keep it clean, energetic, keep cleaning it every day, regularly, like a temple. So where you can experience the highest energy. So respect the body like a temple, because in your body there is a higher principle, the Atma, purity. So next question. Katham Bahyam Adhikramate. How does prana move around? So is prana moves through nadis in the body. How does prana move? It moves through some channels. Nadis. What do you mean by nadi? What do you mean by nadi?
The air moving places. Air moving
through which
places.
Air moves, that you call it as a nadi.
Yeah.
Energy channels.
Yes, energy channels are called nadis. Nadi is a word derived from the root dhatu. Nad means to flow. Nad means to flow. Nadi. See, you say nadi. Nadi means what?
Flow.
Through which anything flows.
Yes.
Nad, nadi, nadi, all are the similar words derived from the same root dhatu. Nadi, through which something flows. So that is called nadi. What and all flows in our body? Air flows, blood flows, lymph flows, nervous system signal flows. Every sense of touch signal, electrical signal flows, wastes flow outward. There are so many such channels through which energy flows. That flow of energy is responsible for all the activities. So how does it move around? It moves around the body and outside through channels, nadis. Nadis. How does prana moves inside the body? It moves inside the body through nadis. According to Shiva Samhita, Lord Shiva mentions in his Shiva teachings to Devi Parvati, says that Sardha Lakshatraya Nadyaha. That means 3.5 lakh nadis are there, according to Shiva Samhita. Maybe even more than that are there. In that, Hatha Yoga Pradipika maybe reducing that count, because all those so many nadis which are indriya, atindriya and higher energy centers, branches, sub branches, sub branches, sub branches of nadis all put together, which are 350,000, even much more than that. There may be some other branches of nadis. So main branches, some active branches, Swami Swatmarama in Hatha Yoga Pradipika mentions. There are Dvasaptati Sahasrani Nadyaha. That means 72,000 nadis are there in human body, through which energy flows. Dvasaptati Sahasrani Nadyaha, 72,000 nadis. In those 72,000, some texts, scriptures mention 101 and 108 nadis. Maybe I'm not sure about the number. So 101, 108 main nadis of branches of nadis are important. So these 101, 108 nadis have their, each nadi has 108 sub branches in them, resulting in the total 72,000 nadis. Even those 101 nadis are connected to 3 important main nadis. These 3 important nadis are Ida, Pingala and Sushumna. 3 important nadis are Ida, Pingala and Sushumna. So they are like nadis. So let us discuss how it can understand with some practical life examples. So let us consider electricity as a prana, right? Can you see electricity? You cannot see.
No, sir.
Can you see electricity in water? From where electricity comes? We say it comes from water. Can you show electricity in water? No.
No, sir.
When some conscious Atma manifests that water into water to fall on a turbine, the turbine rotates. So this is done by some conscious Atma's activity. So that energy in the water is getting converted into electrical energy through some process. But you cannot see that electricity. See, from where does this electricity come? You say water, but you cannot show. So with Atma's activity entry, some consciousness is acting on it to get converted into energy. So it got converted into electricity. So it is there in certain generator or transformer or somewhere it is stored. So it has to be transmitted to every activity, every house. How does it move from there? Through electrical wires, right? Through electrical wires that you can call them as nadis. Okay, so once it comes to from the source, for example, let us say Sharavati receiving station. In Bangalore, you have a big power receiving station from Sharavati. SRS in Pina, you have that Sharavati receiving station. From the source, it has come to one main channel, main station. From that main station, it is again sent to substations. From substations to local transformers. From local transformers to every house. From every house to every room. In every room, you have a plug point. From each plug point, you have connected to every electronic gadgets which are performing activities, right? This is how the network of nadis are, network of wires are connected to transmit the energy. In between, in this path to any house, the electricity connection, the nadis are wires got disconnected, or they are got into some short circuit and broke the connection, can you transmit energy to that house? No, not possible. So like that in our body, every cell is connected through a network of nadis. So through the network of nadis, every cell is receiving that life force prana so that it is alive. If this prana is not reaching any cell for any reason, so that means that cell is dead or inactive, no prana in that cell. So every cell of your body which has a life is connected and receiving the prana through the network of nadis. Okay. Similarly, so when energy is reaching your house, if you want to use energy, how do you receive to any electrical gadget or electronic gadget? You insert socket into a plug, sometimes 2-pin socket plug and 2-pin plug, and sometimes 3-pin plug. So why 3? Why not 5, 6, 7? Why only 3 or only 2? What is the indication of those 3
Positive,
pins?
negative, and neutral.
Grounding.
Positive, negative,
Neutral.
and neutral. So even in the body, the energy which is positive energy which initiates the activity, negative pin which withdraws the activity. That means which stops the activity and takes you to the neutral state. So the balance of negative and positive results in neutralization, right? If positivity is high, negativity is less, then there is a too much of conductivity activity in the network. If negative activity is high and positive activity is less, then also there is a too much of inactivity, resting phase in the body, no activity to start the activity, energy stimulation to do any activity. So like that, positive and negative energies are there in the form of Ida and Pingala, through which the anabolism and catabolism are regulated, our sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system are regulated. So balance of this Ida and Pingala. So energy flow balance through Ida and Pingala neutralizes, activates that neutral phase, that is Sushumna Nadi. Sushumna Nadi. So these are the 3 main nadis. If you go to electric power station, there are so many wires you can see, but to your house only 3 wires come: positive, negative, and neutral. So which are the activity initiators and regulators. So even in our body, only 3 such important channels which are connected to various other nadis in the body. Sub-branches. 3 main nadis: Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna. Any questions so far?
Ida is the positive.
Ida starts from the left nostril. Pingala starts from the right nostril. So Pingala is the positive Surya Nadi. That we also call it as a Surya Nadi. Pingala. Ida is Chandra Nadi. Pingala is Surya Nadi. Ida is Chandra Nadi. Chandra Nadi is your left nostril. Ida, Yada, left. You can remember, Yada means left in Kannada. Yada means left. Left nostril.
ನನಗೊಂದು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಇದೆ.
ಕೇಳಿ ಭರತ್.
ಇವಾಗ ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದು ಒಂದು ನೀರಿನಿಂದ ಹೇಗೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಸಿಟಿ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಹೇಗಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅನ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಲ್ವಾ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ನೀರು ಒಂದು ಪಂಚಭೂತಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು. ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ನೀರು ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಸಿಟಿ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಅದೇ ನೀರು ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಕೈನೆಟಿಕ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಸಿಟಿ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ಆ ನೀರಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಆ ಕೈನೆಟಿಕ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಣ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ.
ಒಂದು ಕಾನ್ಶಿಯಸ್ ಎಂಟಿಟಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು.
ಅದು ಯಾವ್ದು ಅದನ್ನ ಹೇಗ್ ನಾವು ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೋಪನಿಷತ್ತಲ್ಲಿ?
So right question. It is that Atma which drives that water to move. Any conscious entity, even ಯಾವ್ದಾರ ಒಂದು ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಡ್ರೈವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿನ ಇನಿಷಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ he has that Atma. So Newton's first law is what? Every body continues to be in its state of rest or uniform motion unless it is compelled by an external agency. That you told. What is that external agency here? External agency is Atma.
Okay. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀರಲ್ಲೂ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಣ ಇದೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪ್ರಾಣನು ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ.
ಅದನ್ನ ಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಪೊಟೆನ್ಶಿಯಲ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದನ್ನ ಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಕಾನ್ಶಿಯಸ್ ಎಂಟಿಟಿ ಬೇಕು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ. That conscious entity is your individual soul, ಜೀವಾತ್ಮ.
Okay.
ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಕೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ಗ್ರಾವಿಟಿಯಿಂದ ನೀರನ್ನ ಮೇಲೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋದಾಗ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಪುಲ್ ಡೌನ್, ಆವಾಗ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಗ್ರಾವಿಟಿ. ಫ್ಲೋಯಿಂಗ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕೈನೆಟಿಕ್ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಮೇಲಿಂದ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ಕೈನೆಟಿಕ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಮೇಲಕ್ಕೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಗ್ರಾವಿಟೇಷನ್ ಎಗೇನೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಪುಲ್ ಡೌನ್ ದಿ ವಾಟರ್ ಇದನ್ನ. ಆವಾಗ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೈನೆಟಿಕ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್ ಕೈನೆಟಿಕ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ನೀರಿಂದ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಉತ್ಪತ್ತಿ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ದಿ ಎನರ್ಜಿ. ಆ ವೀಲ್ ಟರ್ಬೈನ್ ಟರ್ನ್ ಆಗಿ ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ದಿ ಎನರ್ಜಿ.
Yes, that has to be converted. Who is converting that?
That energy movement. That movement come from by against the gravity. ನೀರನ್ನ ಮೇಲೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋದಾಗ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಬಿಡುವಾಗ ಒಂದು ಕೈನೆಟಿಕ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದರಿಂದ ಟರ್ಬೈನ್ಗಳು ವೀಲ್ ಟರ್ನ್ ಆಗಿ, ಆ ವೀಲ್ ಟರ್ನ್ ಆಗೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಉತ್ಪಾದನೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ಗ್ರಾವಿಟಿನ ನಾವು ಯಾವ ತರ ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು ಸರ್? ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪ್ರಾಣ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ಬೋದಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಟರ್ ಇಸ್ ಆತ್ಮ ಅಂಡ್ ಗ್ರಾವಿಟಿ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಪ್ರಾಣ.
ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಗ್ರಾವಿಟಿ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಪ್ರಾಣ. ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಲ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಶಕ್ತಿ. ಇವು ಭೂಮಂಡಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕಾಶದಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಚಂದ್ರ ಸೂರ್ಯ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೇನು ರಸ್ತೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ರೋಡ್ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಯಾರು ಹಿಡಿದಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರೋದು? ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಫೋರ್ಸ್, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಲ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್. ಅದನ್ನೇ ಗ್ರಾವಿಟಿ. ನಮ್ಮ ಕಣ್ಣು ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಅರ್ಥದಲ್ಲಿರೋದು ಅರ್ಥ ಗ್ರಾವಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಅಷ್ಟನ್ನೇ, ಬೇರೆ ಇನ್ನೇನಲ್ಲ.
Bharat, here you can connect it. This is purely physics. This concept of prana ideyalla, this is purely physics. You say Newton's law of gravitational force. What is that law of gravity? Newton's law of gravity.
ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಲಾ ಅದು?
It is a separate law. It is not law of motion. It is law of gravity.
Okay.
So any two objects, every object has its own gravity, but they have their influence on each other, which is proportional to their mass and weight, right?
Correct.
When you are always associated with a bigger body, it has the higher gravity compared to the smaller body. So gravity is high compared to their mass and weight. So differently, there is a law. You can go through that Newton's law of gravity, which influences some action. There will be some attraction, repulsion, all those gravitational activity. In the universe, every object has its own gravity. But we don't come across unless it has a bigger effect.
It's directly proportional to the mass and inversely proportional to the distance.
Distance, yes. Inversely proportional to the distance. See, ಈಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅರ್ಥಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವು ಬಹಳ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ. Earth, you cannot escape from this Earth's gravity because your mass is very less compared to Earth's mass. Your gravity is very less compared to Earth's gravity. You are attracted to it. You cannot escape from the influence of that. So the gravity of the sun is much higher compared to the gravity of Earth. It cannot escape from the prana influence of gravity influence of the sun. So even water's energy, gravity, and the gravity of Earth is, they have their own influence, but it is happening naturally, but it has to get converted into electricity. Who is converting it? That is a conscious entity, Atma. So let us see.
Okay.
Some entity which has the degree of freedom to change that. ಸ್ಪಂದಿಸಬೇಕು, ಪ್ರಾಣ ಸ್ಪಂದನೆ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಆ ಪ್ರಾಣ ಸ್ಪಂದನೆಗೆ ಒಂದು ಕಾನ್ಶಿಯಸ್ ಎಂಟಿಟಿ ಬೇಕು. So that is your Atma. Atma has that maximum energy. Let us see, where is that maximum prana? Your Atma has that maximum prana, but sometimes it is covered by so many impurities. So with those many impurities, you may not experience that highest prana when it is associated with the body. So the construction of prana creates different lokas. That means based on the prana spandana with the Atma, you can say different lokas. I have changed the slide now. So we are in a neutral phase where the prana spandana is a neutral in Manushya Loka. So it is neutral. 1, you can say 10 to the power of 0, that is 1. When it is prana spandana is becoming negative, ಸ್ಪಂದಿಸುವುದು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದರ ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಆಫ್ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಸೊ ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಆಫ್ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ in prani loka compared to manushya loka, prana spandana manushya lokakinta prani lokadalli kadime ide, 100 times kadime ide. Prana ide, atmanu ide, adre alli prana spandane kadime ide. Spandis freedom kadime ide. So further, if you go to sasya loka, compared to freedom of animals, the freedom of prana, freedom to express, is less in Sasya Loka. Further, if you go to Pashana Loka, radioactive elements, there the spandana, prana spandana is much less. Based on the prana spandana, your ananda is also measured. Prana spandana is the expression, freedom to express the pranic activity is prana spandana. So based on that freedom to express, your loka is defined. So like that, Manushya Loka, Prani Loka, Sasya Loka, Pashana Loka, Atala, Tala, Patala anta ella ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, 7 ಲೋಕ ಮನುಷ್ಯರಿಂದ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಅಂತ. So based on the freedom of expression to the prana, your loka is changing to the Atma. And that level of consciousness is also based on the freedom of expression to the prana. So freedom of expression of prana. So like touch me not plant, eating plants, some radioactive elements, where in the among all other plants, in some plants the prana spandana is very sensitive and highly active. That means that they are getting ready to get into the next loka. Their generation is changing from one loka to another loka. Sasya loka to prani loka ke hogokke ಆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಪ್ರಾಣದ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಪಂದನ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಲೋಕ ಮೇ ಬಿ ದೇ ಗೆಟ್ ಸಮ್ ಹೈಯರ್ ಲೋಕ, ಸಸ್ಯ ಲೋಕ ಟು ಪ್ರಾಣಿ ಲೋಕ, ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್. ಸೊ ಯುವರ್ ಆತ್ಮ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ದಟ್ ಇನ್ಫೈನೈಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಣ. ಆಸ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ prana with much degree of freedom, the atma's loka changes from manusha loka to manusha gandharva loka next. So if your prana's ability to express or the freedom to express itself increases by 100 times, that means 10 to the power of 2, your loka changes from Manusha loka to Manusha Gandharva loka. Even if your prana spandhana increases by 10,000 times from Manusha loka, you are reaching the Deva Gandharva loka, Pitru loka, Ajanana loka, Karma loka, Deva loka, Indra loka, Brihaspati loka, Prajapati loka, Brahma loka. Till then, your Atma has the ability to express its freedom. It has that infinite capacity. Like every individual are same, potentially divine, right? Bharat?
Yes.
ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೂ ಸೇಮ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಇದೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಕೆಲವರಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಕೆಲವರಿಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಕೆಲವರು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಯಾವಾಗ ಅವರ ಪ್ರಾಣ ಸ್ಪಂದನೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಒಬ್ಬ ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯಿಂದ ಅವನ ಒಂದು ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಕಾನ್ಶಿಯಸ್ನೆಸ್ ನ ಅವನು ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಅವನ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾನೆ, ವಿದ್ಯಾವಂತನಾಗ್ತಾನೆ. ವಿದ್ಯಾವಂತನಿಂದ ಒಬ್ಬ ಉತ್ತಮ ಪ್ರಜೆ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ. 4 ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಕಷ್ಟಗಳಿಗೆ ಸ್ಪಂದಿಸುವಂತೆ ಅವನ ಪ್ರಾಣ ಸ್ಪಂದಿಸ್ತದೆ. ಅವನು ಜನನಾಯಕ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ. ಜನನಾಯಕ ಆಗವನು ಗ್ರಾಮ ಪಂಚಾಯತಿಯಿಂದ ತಾಲೂಕು ಮಟ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ, ತಾಲೂಕು ಮಟ್ಟದಿಂದ ಜಿಲ್ಲಾ ಮಟ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ, ಜಿಲ್ಲಾ ಮಟ್ಟದಿಂದ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಮಟ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ, ರಾಜ್ಯ ಮಟ್ಟದಿಂದ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರ ಮಟ್ಟದವರೆಗೂ ಅವನು ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಅವನ ಪ್ರಾಣವನ್ನ ಸ್ಪಂದಿಸ್ತಾನೆ, ಅವನ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಣ ಸ್ಪಂದಿಸುತ್ತೆ, ಅವನು ಅಷ್ಟು ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾನೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ?
ಹೌದು
ಭರತ್.
ಹೌದು.
If we are petty, thinking of only, just a minute, my daughter is creating. So, ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ ಭರತ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅದರ್ಸ್? ಲೋಕ ಹೇಗೆ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಯಾವಾಗ ಒಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಅವನ ಪ್ರಾಣ ಸ್ಪಂದನೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರ ಕಷ್ಟಗಳಿಗೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರ ಒಂದು ತನ್ನ ಸ್ವಾರ್ಥ, ಸ್ವಂತ ಪೆಟ್ಟಿನೆಸ್, ಸಣ್ಣ ಸಣ್ಣ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನಿಂದ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಹಿರಿತನದವರೆಗೂ ಬೆಳೀತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಪವರ್, ಎಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಟು help, take care of, respond, react is increasing. ಪ್ರಾಣ ಸ್ಪಂದನೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, that's how your loka changes. ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಲ್ಲ, ಅನಿಮಲ್ ನೇಚರ್ ಇಂದ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಲೋಕಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ we have to grow. So yoga is that which manifests. Now definition ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ, ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ವಿವೇಕಾನಂದರ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್. Yoga is tool to compress one's evolution from animal man to a man first. By birth, all of us are man in the prani loka. Sorry, animal man. By your freedom to express the degree of freedom in the prana, as you grow, you become a manushya. In this manusha loka, if you get attached to all the petty things like animals, only your own ahara, bhaya, nidra, maithuna, only your own selfishness, then you are not more than any animal. Your prana spandana is not increasing. As the prana spandana increases from animal nature, you become a man. Even in the man, it evolves. The degree of freedom increases gradually. So you evolve to a Manushya Gandharva Loka. So that means the ability to express or freedom to express the prana spandana, if it increases 100 times, your loka changes to next loka, Manushya Gandharva Loka. Our goal is, this is the evolution process. See, lokagalidella, Prajapati, Brahma, Brihaspati, Indra, these are all not any other things. They are also just like positions, designations. As your ability to manage things in your office, you will get a promotion to next level. If you don't have that ability or freedom or power, knowledge to manage that position, you cannot stay there. Though you are promoted by mistake, you cannot maintain that position for a longer period of time. Right, Bharat?
ಹೌದು.
Anybody? ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಒಂದು ಆಫೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗ್ಲಿ, ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿ, ಬೈ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಏನೋ ನಾನು ಯಾವ್ದೋ ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಕೆಲಸದಿಂದ ನನಗೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಲೋಕ ಸಿಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ, ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಇಫ್ ಐ ಡೂ ಆಲ್ ದ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್, ಮೇ ಬಿ ಐ ಮೇ ಗೋ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಟು ದಟ್ ಲೋಯರ್ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಅಗೇನ್. ಐ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಸಸ್ಟೈನ್ ಹಿಯರ್.
ಈ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಎವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಫೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು ಮೆಜರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದ್ರ ಪ್ರಕಾರ
ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಒಂದು ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಲ್ ಕಾನ್ಶಿಯಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಇದೆ.
ಅದ್ ಯಾವ್ದದು? ಅದು ಹೇಗ್ ನಾವು
ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಲ್ ಟ್ರಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ.
ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಕಾನ್ಶಿಯಸ್ ಮನಸ್ಸು.
See, your atma itself evolves as it gets that freedom, ability. ಅಲ್ವಾ, ನೀವು 4 ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಪಂದಿಸುವಂತ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವೇ ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇರ್ತೀರಿ ಸೆಲ್ಫಿಶ್ ನೇಚರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ನಾನು ಪ್ರಾಣಾಯಾಮದಿಂದ ಇದೆಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಟು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಟು ಗಿವ್ ಯು ದಿ ಹೈಯರ್ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಇಟ್. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಒಂದ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸೂಪರ್ಫಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ.
ಸರ್, ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್. ಇದು ನಮ್ದು ಆರಾ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, our unique aura, is it prana or atma?
It is actually the prana surrounding the atma, the atma's ability to express the prana.
Okay.
Atma already has that ability, but how, with what degree of freedom it is expressing.
Okay.
ಈಗ ನಮ್ಮ ವೈಫೈ ಸಿಗ್ನಲ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಸರ್,
ಹೌದು ಸರ್,
ಯುವರ್ ಆರಾ ಇಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್ ವೈಫೈ ಸಿಗ್ನಲ್.
ಓಕೆ.
ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಸಿಟಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ ಎಷ್ಟು ದೂರ ವೈಫೈ ಸಿಗ್ನಲ್ ತಳ್ಳಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಸಿಟಿ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ
ಡಿವೈಸ್,
ದಿ ಎಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೂಮೆಂಟ್.
ಯಾ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಎ ಡಿವೈಸ್,
ಅಪ್ಗ್ರೇಡೆಡ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೂಮೆಂಟ್ to express the electricity's signal capacity. ಅದನ್ನ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನಿಫೈ ಮಾಡೋ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಇರಬೇಕು.
ಹೌದೌದು.
ಆ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಆಲ್ ಇಂಟರ್ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್.
Okay,
let us come back from all of this. These are quite higher sciences. Just for your knowledge, I wanted to clarify Bharat's doubt.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಡೌಟ್ ಇಂದ ಇನ್ನಷ್ಟು ಡೌಟ್ಗಳು ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ ಭರತ್.
ಹೌದು.
ಸೊ ಬರೆದಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಯಾವಾಗಾದ್ರೂ ಪರ್ಸನಲಿ, ಸೊ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್, ಆರ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗೋ ಟು a guru where who has a higher degree of freedom to make you understand.
ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡೋಣ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಆಫ್ಲೈನ್.
ಸಿ, ಎವಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು? ಪ್ರಾಣ ಸ್ಪಂದನೆಯಿಂದಾನೇ ನಮ್ಮ ಎವಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರೋದು. ಅದನ್ನ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳಕ್ಕೆ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಇತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳಕ್ಕೆ ಹೌ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಕಮ್ ಟು ದಿಸ್ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಲೈಫ್. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಸಮ್ universal consciousness, the Brahmanda, the Brahman, or the Ishvaraha. So Vishesha Purusha, what we understood from Patanjali Yoga Sutra, there is some Paramatma who appointed someone to create and someone to destroy out of his will. So the creator created first Akasha. Akasha has a certain principle. Akashas, the subtle form is sound. Akashat Vayuhu. From Akasha, so Vayu got created. So Vayu has the qualities of both Akasha as well as the movement, sound as well as movement, which carries the sound and also the sparsha. Vayu to Agni, from Vayu, Agni came. Agni here is temperature. Agni, the combination of Akasha, Vayu and extra precipitation of that Akasha and Vayu is Agni. The much precipitated form of Akasha, Vayu, Agni and all these qualities put together, it is Apaha, Jalam. Apaha, the much precipitated form of that Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apaha is Prithvi. It's the compressed and precipitated form of that. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ ಹೇಗೆ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಬಂತು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ ಭರತ್? We have studied evolution of life ಅಲ್ವಾ? Evolution of life ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಬಂತು? There were only 4 basic elements: oxygen, hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen. So they combined to form different molecules resulted in some Agni, Jala and Prithvi, all those things. From that the vegetation started, right?
Yes.
From vegetation the food started. So for vegetation is growing the food. Once the food is there, so then humans are there. Anna bhavanti bhutani. There is one shloka in Bhagavad Gita. And from Taittiriya Upanishad you can derive that Akashat Vayuho, Vayor Agnihi, Agni Apaha, Abhya Prithivihi, Prithvi Parjanyaha. Parjanya is vegetation. Parjanyat Anna Sambhavaha. From the vegetation, the production of food started. Parjanyat Anna Sambhavaha. Annad Bhavanti Bhutani. So from that Annam, from the food, all other Bhuta is all other animals took birth. See, in all these transactions, the prana spandhana is responsible for the change of loka. See, from Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apaha, Prithvi to vegetation, Sasya loka to Manushya, Prani loka to Manusya. So Manusya is also one of that Bhutani, all Manusya, the mortals. Bhutani, physical living beings, from which you further grow with the degree of freedom. In animals you have only Anna, Prana and Manas, whereas as the degree of freedom increased, you have the highest degree of freedom compared to animals, that is Buddhirhitesham Adhiko Visheshaha, that is Ajnanamaya Kosha, that is your Vijnanamaya Kosha. Using this degree of freedom, you can further increase the prana spandana, manaspandana, grow to the next level. As your Anandamaya Kosha, Ananda changes, your Loka changes to higher levels, from Manushya Loka to Manushya Gandharva Loka and again to Atma. For all these transactions of Atma, the entity which is responsible, energy which is responsible is this Prana. So now you got a clarity?
Yes. So ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ವಿದೇಹ ಮುಕ್ತ ಆದ ನಂತರ ಅವರು ಮೇಲಿನ ಲೋಕಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೋದಲ್ವಾ?
ಬರೋಣ, ವಿದೇಹ ಮುಕ್ತಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋಣ, ಜ್ಞಾನ ಯೋಗ ಬಂದಾಗ ಬರೋಣ. So once your degree of freedom increases by 100 times, you move to the next loka, that is Manushya Gandharva Loka. So where you transcend the body. Videha Mukta. No birth, no death. Your body at will. Our goal should be to move to this loka from Manushya Loka. ಯಾರು ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸ್ಪಂದಿಸ್ತಾರೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಾಣ, ಮನಸ್ಸು, ಜ್ಞಾನ, ವಿಜ್ಞಾನ ಎಷ್ಟು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ಆ ಪೆಟ್ಟಿನೆಸ್ ಇಂದ, ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಇಂದ, ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫಿಶ್ನೆಸ್ ಇಂದ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ಲೆಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು, then you transcend this body. You are not attached to this body as your own self. That is Videha Mukta. ನಾವು ಇನ್ನು ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲೇ ಇದೀವಿ, ಇನ್ನು ತುಂಬಾ ಜರ್ನಿ ಲಾಂಗ್ ಇದೆ ಟು ಎವಾಲ್ವ್. ಸೊ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಯುವರ್
ಸರ್, ದೇವಗಂಧರ್ವ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಗಂಧರ್ವ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಏನ್ ಸರ್?
ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ತೋರಿಸ್ದೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ. a degree of freedom is high in Devagandharva Loka compared to Manusha Gandharva Loka. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಪ್ರಾಣ ಸ್ಪಂದನೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ ಈ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್. ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯು ಸಿ ದಿಸ್? in your prana spandana is only neutral. Manusha Loka is that neutral Loka where you have a body. When your freedom increases by 100 times, your ananda increases by 100 times. So you become Manushya Gandharva Loka. You Manushyantaraane irಬಹುದು, ಆದರೆ your capacity to deal with people is, or to with the world is high compared to a normal man. ಈಗ ನಾನು ಏನಾರ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು 5 ಜನನ ಅಥವಾ 6 ಜನನ 100 ಜನನ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಒಬ್ಬ ಪ್ರಧಾನ ಮಂತ್ರಿ 130 ಕೋಟಿನ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲೂಯೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಒಬ್ಬ ಸಿಂಗರ್, ಒನ್ ಸಿಂಗರ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲೂಯೆನ್ಸ್ millions of people, right?
Yes.
A dancer can influence millions of people. A teacher can influence millions of people who can change the millions of lives, billions of lives, not only millions, billions, even more than that. Based on your ability to influence, that is your freedom to express, right? So that's how your loka changes. Deva Loka to Deva Gandharva Loka. ಇನ್ನು ಆ ಒಂದು ಅಷ್ಟು ಜನ ದೇವಗಂಧರ್ವರನ್ನೇ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲೂಯೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ರೀಚಿಂಗ್ ದಿ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಗಂಧರ್ವ ಟು ದೇವಗಂಧರ್ವ, ಹಂಗೆ ಲೋಕ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಎಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಟು ಇನ್ಫ್ಲೂಯೆನ್ಸ್ ಬೈ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್, ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಆಫ್ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್. ಸೊ ನಾವ್ ಯು ಗಾಟ್ ಇಟ್ ರೈಟ್?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes. So next, tomorrow, so how to know about it, how it acts in our body, all those let us understand tomorrow in the tomorrow's class. La video on ಮಾಡಬಹುದಾ ಈಗ?
ಸೊ ನಾಳೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸು?
ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಆಸ್ ಯೂಶುವಲ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಟೈಮ್ಗೆ ಮಾಡೋಣ, ಅಥವಾ ನೀವು ಎಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿಗೆ, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಯಾವ ಟೈಮ್ಗೆ ಅಗ್ರಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಆ ಟೈಮ್ಗೆ.